Hi guys, TTCombat here, I'm Jamie and we're at Salute 2018 and we've got a little treat for you. He's alive.
He's alive, yeah. Good morning. Hello.
It's Dave. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for coming down. So TTCombat.
Yeah, well I've been incredibly busy in the last 6 months. I've done more design work than I've been doing for years really, probably since I started actually. You haven't seen much of it yet, but I've been extremely busy. I've basically been buried in front of my computer working the whole time on new toys.
There's a lot of exciting things coming in the next months, years.
A whole lot of stuff.
Forward.
We've got a very, very busy, ambitious release schedule planned, which is really cool. And you're only just beginning to see the start of it now, so it's going to be really good.
Yeah,
really
I suppose this has been giving you a bit of time to breathe and to focus on the design aspect.
Yeah, you know, it's now I'm not doing the business side, I'm just now doing design, rules, writing, that's it.
Exactly.
Which is all the stuff I love best anyway, and I've been really busy at it, you know.
Great.
Just get up in the morning, sit at my computer, do CAD all day, write occasionally, done, that's it.
Fantastic.
Which is great, and I've been really enjoying myself and it's been really cool.
Well, at the moment, I mean, we've only seen you at events at the moment with our kind of channel and any videos that we do. But going forward, we'll get you down to the warehouse. We can do interviews down there.
Yeah.
We can come up to you. So
need
you
to get
will
out some
see
more.
a lot more of him.
Yeah.
The main thing of this video is destroyers.
Yeah.
So, Dave, talk us through the destroyers.
Okay, so destroyers are between frigates and light cruisers in size. So they're kind of big frigates or small cruisers, depending on how you want to think about it. There are 3 or 4 variants for each faction. We'll go round. So you've got the UCM here, you've got the Vancouver, which is a escort carrier. Cheaper than the Seattle per launch, which is good if you want lots of fighters and bombers without paying too many points for it. Not many guns though, so it's a one-trick pony. Then you've got the Havana torpedo destroyer, which is really cool. It carries new light torpedoes, damage free, not damage 6, but you get 2 of them, and it's only on a small body, which is quite powerful in game. Then you've got the Kiev heavy destroyer. This thing has 3 great big heavy caliber mass drivers in there.
Yeah, that looks nasty. Yeah.
It can also hit targets in atmosphere though, which is a new rule that we're bringing in.
Great.
Which is really cool. So it lets you reach out and touch strike carriers, which is handy. You know, it's really cool. So then you got Scourge. You got the Succubus, which is your standard gun destroyer. All the Scourge destroyers have got fairly decent close action as well, which is very Scourge. It's something that they all share together. They also, all of them have an upgrade option for a cloaking crest.
Okay.
Like this one here, the Revenant. This one's been fitted with one actually, but you can put that on any of the destroyers, which is an option that's unique to the Scourge. This one does a bit of everything. It's got a carrier, it's got decent guns, and it's got good close action. So if you use it well, you can use all those weapons without going weapons free, which is nice.
It's all about getting up close, getting up fast.
Yeah, getting stuck in, very Scourge.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Incubus, which has got a furnace cannon, which is basically the same as the 2 furnace cannons on a cruiser. So it's actually really quite punchy. If you like burn-through weapons, then this one will sort you out quite nicely.
Great.
Then PHR, you've got the...
so these are slightly different.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got 4 models here. What's the reason for that?
Yeah, so you've got 2 different options really for PHR, and the PHR are actually split between destroyers and blockade runners. So you've got the 2 destroyers that both share big heavy caliber guns, mass drivers at the back.
Yep.
Which is really cool. But one of them has another pair of those guns at the front, so that's all gun, very straightforward. And then this one has bulk landers, which is really cool. It's the first ship we brought out that's not cruiser sized that can drop bulk landers.
Right.
And then the two blockade runners, Jason and Odysseus, these 2 both lose the guns at the back, gain a little bit more close action, but not fantastic, it's just good. But more importantly, an extra pair of engines.
Right.
So these go 12 inches thrust, which is fast.
Yeah.
For PHR especially, because they're not really a fast fleet. And one of them has the guns at the front and the other one has bulk landers. This one in particular is going to be quite expensive because it's a powerful effect to be fast and drop bulk landers.
Yep.
So you can get defense batteries down on turn 1, 2.
There's a lot of flexibility there, isn't there?
Yeah, they're nice and useful. It's fairly typical PHR for them to get perhaps one more option than the other fleets get, which is always good. Then for Shaltari, you've got the Chromium, which is the first Shaltari ship we've brought out with a burn-free weapon. which is actually kind of a crude weapon for Shaltari, really. But
Yeah.
in the fluff, this one's for the less well-funded tribes, the smaller ones.
Right. Okay. So the outer rim tribes.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Because it's fairly basic technology for Shaltari.
Yeah.
But it's punchy and it's very pointy as a ship, you know. And obviously, burn-through weapons are cool, and this gives Shaltari players a chance to dip their toes into burn-through, which is nice.
Yeah.
'Cause it's really a UCM and PHR thing with a bit of Scourge thrown in.
Yeah. We can spread out the rules so everyone gets to play with them. Yeah.
And then you've got the Mercury, which is using Mauler for the first time, which is a rule. It's in the core rulebook. We just didn't use it in any of the original ships. So Mauler is a close action burn-through weapon, but also its lock is dependent on the target's armour. So the tougher the target is, the more effective this weapon is.
Cool.
It's actually part of the general theme of all destroyers, in that in general they're good at killing ships bigger than themselves most of the time. Not always, like they vary,
Yeah.
but that's the general rule, is they're good at killing bigger ships, and they've also got one or two speciality things that only they can do.
Okay.
A lot of the time they need weapons free to get the most of them, which frigates don't. Generally frigates only have one gun, so a lot of these have two,
Yep.
which makes them a bit more like cruisers in terms of how you need to use them in game. It's worth mentioning actually, for example, like all the Shaltari ones have a pair of lasers as well. So they've got a main weapon and a pair of lasers. So if you want to use both, it's weapons free, which is one of the restrictions, but it's cool in its own way if you use it right. It's a lot of firepower for the points. And then you've got the last one. This one is actually a very small mothership. So it's got launch one.
Yeah, I saw this.
Which
I
is-
mean, I love the curve in this one, from a modelling point of view. That's just a really nice
Shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously these, I've been efficient with the use of components, so these two look fairly different. This part is mounted on the underside for this version and on the top for that one.
Yeah.
So you can very clearly tell them apart on the table, which is always useful.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, this is going to affect the meta a fair amount for Shaltari players because that's a cheaper and more directable mothership.
Right.
Not much capacity, obviously. It can only launch one token a turn, but it is still quite a powerful effect if you use it well. So yeah, that's your destroyers really. I mean,
Right.
they've been a fair chunk of work. I'm very happy with them, and the casts are coming out lovely. So yeah,
Cool. They're
it's
just
good.
adding a bit more flexibility to the game, aren't they?
Yeah, there are more choices and fleshing out the range of ships, you know, from the titchy little corvettes right up to the really big stuff, and they kind of slot in quite nicely. The other thing probably worth mentioning is they've all L2 tonnage,
Right.
which means they score twice as much as frigates do. They're worth
Yeah.
2 frigates for scoring and for your strategy ratings in battle groups. But they still only take up 1 light slot in Forsorg, so they're easy to fit into your fleet.
Yeah.
But they score appropriately because they are around 50 to 60 points a go, which is a fair chunk more than a frigate, so you should be rewarded for that.
No one's going to worry about losing like an essential ship just to fit them in.
Yeah,
You know,
a
they have massive uses.
scoring thing. Yeah, exactly. You know, because if it's 1-to-1 with frigates, then the frigates are just going to be better for winning games.
Yeah.
So these they score appropriately. It's worth mentioning anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the insight there. And thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll see you soon.